G'day Year 7s, and yes, it's the same introduction. Anyway, it's the very last video for this chapter, so I'm not going to muck around. I just want to try and get this done so you guys can get onto it and understand it. Okay, exercise 1, that is I, mind you. Exercise 1I. Sorry, just wasting a bit of time. Exercise 1I. Order of operations. Now this might be a little bit different to what you have actually been taught, but I'll explain that in a minute. Okay, so when combining the operations, so when we're talking about operations in mathematics, we're talking about what? What do you think we're actually talking about? If I say what operations are involved, we're talking about operations are your plus, your addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Okay, they're operations. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, your basic operations, and they're the things that you deal with in maths quite often. Alright, so that's what operations. Now, when a problem involves a number of these different operations all in the one problem, so you might have addition, subtraction, division, multiplication all in the one problem, there is a particular order to which you need to complete those operations. Okay, so when combining the operations of addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, a particular order needs to be followed. Multiplication and division sit higher in the order than addition and subtraction. Alright, and this relates to how we might logically interpret simple mathematical problems put into words. So consider these two statements. 2 groups of 3 chairs plus 5 chairs. So how would you solve that? Alright, well you'd probably go, well, I've got to find out what 2 groups of 3 chairs. So 2 groups of 3 chairs is 6 chairs, and then I add the 5 chairs. Okay, so you can't add the groups of 3 chairs with 5 before you multiply by the 2. So you can't do 5 plus 3 and then multiply by 2. That's going to give you a different answer, isn't it? Alright, so the order at which you multiply things out, and that's a really good way to sort of think about order of operations in the order that you do things. Another one is 5 chairs plus 2 groups of 3. So again, these may be written differently, but the way you solve them is exactly the same. Alright, you've got to do the multiplication first. So the 2 groups of 3 chairs you've got to be done, then you add the 5 chairs, or you add that to the 5 chairs. Here you get your 2 groups of 3, then you add 5 chairs to that. Alright, so in both cases there are 2 groups of 3 plus 5, so there are 11 chairs all up. This means that 2 times 3 plus 5 equals 5 plus 2 times 3. Alright, so this multiplication part, whichever order these are actually written, the multiplication part has to be done first. You can't add, for example, like I said, the 3 and the 5 here, or the 5 plus the 2. You do that, you get different answers. Alright, so the multiplication should always be done first. Now, forget this stuff here for the minute. When working with more than one operation, deal with brackets, also known as, that doesn't matter about that, so deal with the brackets first. Do multiplication and division, so brackets first, multiplication, division next. And it doesn't actually matter which order, but you work from left to right. Okay, always work from left to right with multiplication and division. But it doesn't actually matter which one you do first. So if you have, say for example, you look here, the division, you don't have to do the division first before you do the multiplication, or vice versa. Just work left to right when you're doing division and multiplication. Addition and subtraction go last, and again, same thing. It doesn't actually matter which order you do them in, but you work from left to right. Okay, and deal with addition, subtraction, whichever order that they present themselves as you work from left to right in your problem. Brackets can sit inside other brackets. All right, so for example here we've got brackets here, but also brackets here. Alright, so you always go from the inside. If you've got problems with multiple brackets, work from the inside out. So you've got to deal with the inside brackets first, then you deal with the larger brackets after that. So always work from the inside out. Now, BIDMAS, you might know this as BIDMAS, okay, but BIDMAS is a little bit outdated, so we use BIDMAS now. Now each of these stands for a particular word. So B, again, first thing we've got to do, and this is, your basically instruction booklet for order of operations. It tells you the order that you do things in. Okay, so the B obviously stands for brackets. Okay, excuse my writing. My writing is not very. That is a C. Brackets goes first. Now the I you probably haven't heard of, and it's not something you're really going to have to deal with at year 7. That's indices. All right, an indice is If I had 3 to the power of 3, for example, that's an indice. Okay, so if you get problems with powers in them, and brackets, okay, you deal with brackets first, but then indices, these powers are the things that you deal with next. Alright, so the of has been replaced by the I, so it's now BIDMAS instead of BODMAS, because this I represents indices, which are an important part of the process. But like I said, it's not something you're really going to deal with at year 7 with order of operations, so you don't really need to know it, but make sure you understand the BIDMAS. D, division, goes in here. Okay. M obviously stands for your multiplication, as I sound out my words, and that's really, really bad writing. A for addition, again, not going very well here, and the last one obviously being subtraction. Subtraction, sorry. Really bad writing there. Okay, so that is what you are looking at now. So instead of your BODMAS, you are now, get rid of the O, put in the I, it's now BIDMAS. But that is your instruction booklet. That tells you the order that you do things. Okay, remember these guys can be interchangeable. You just work from left to right, and whichever one you come across, you do. You don't have to do division before multiplication, like in this problem. You don't have to go, oh, it says division, so I've got to do this bit. Work left to right. So here I do the brackets. Then I'll do, as it says here, first, second, then I'll do this multiplication, so 5. So 4 times 5 gives you the 20. Then I'd go over here and do my division. 12 divided by 6 is 2. And then I'll do my subtraction part last here. So the 20 take 2 gives me the 18. Okay, so that's how that works. So now you are using BIDMAS, not BODMAS, if that is what you've previously been taught. And, you know, very simple change, just the indices, but know that they're there, but you won't have to worry about them. Okay, using order of operations, use order of operations to solve these problems. 5 plus 10 divided by 2. Okay, so do my equal sign on the side there. So I'll look at my BIDMAS. I've got an addition and division. So I've got to do in my, got no brackets, got no indices, division and addition, so I've got to do my division first. 10 divided by 2, so my 5 stays as it is. I don't split this up, and yeah, again, you've got to follow my working out. And the working out, setting out of your working out is really important for these BIDMAS and order of operation problems. Okay, so it's really important that you work carefully through these and follow and model how I show you to work these out. Otherwise, I've been teaching maths for a long time. I just see lots of silly mistakes that are basically made because students want to break the problems up and just do small little parts bit by bit and then get confused and make simple mistakes. So we've got to make sure that we are using the right algorithms, the right processes to solve the problems. So I'm not dealing with a 5 plus 10 here, I'm dealing with a 10 divided by 2. So my 5 and my plus can stay as they are, so they just drop down to my next line. My 10 divided by 2, I can do that. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. Now I can solve this part. 5 plus 5 is 10. Okay, that easy. Next problem. So this is where the working out is really important. So 18 subtract 2 multiplied by 4 plus 6 divided by 5. Okay, so using my BIDMAS, brackets, so I have got brackets, I've got to do that first. So I'm just going to rewrite everything else around those brackets and leave them as they are. So my 18 minus 2 times stays there. Now my 4 plus 6 is 10, and then divide by 5. Okay, now I've got rid of the brackets, I've got my division multiplication. Doesn't matter which order, work left to right. So I've got 18, take 2, so I'm not dealing with that, the minus part here. So the 18 and the minus can stay there. I've got 2 times 10 first, and then divided by 5 second. So I work left to right. So 2 times 10 is 20, and the divide part stays. Now on my next line, I'm now dealing with this part. Okay, so I've dealt with this part, did the brackets first to there, dealt with that part to give me the 20. Now I'm dealing with this part, so my 18 and that minus stays there. 20 divided by 5 is 4. Okay, so that gives me that, and 18 minus 4 gives me 14. Alright, and that is my final answer for that problem, 14. Alright, so it takes a bit of practice to get your head around this. I see all different very creative ways of working these out, but the method that you use to solve order of operation problems really does test your setting out and working out. So you really need to work hard at modeling how I do it. So you only need to rewrite the things you're working on. Everything else just drops down to the next line, as you can see here. So my 18 and the minus drops down, the 2 and the multiplication sign drops down. I'm just dealing with this part, so I get my 10. Divided by 5 drops down. Now I'm working on this part only, the 2 times 10. So the 18 and the minus drops down. 2 times 10 gives me the 20, and the divided by 5 just drops down. Now I'm working on this part, so the 18 and the minus just drop down. 20 divided by 5 gives me the 4. And then I can solve that last part of the problem. Alright, so this process is really, really important, and I'm going to be hammering you endlessly on your working out to make sure you get the working out right, because it just makes life so much easier. Okay, now using order of operations in, I'll say that slowly, using order of operations in worded problems. So we've got a worded problem here, so we need to write that worded problem. This is another area that a lot of students struggle with. So we need to rewrite the worded problem into numbers. Find the difference between 76 and 43. Triple this result and finally subtract the quotient of 35 and 7. Okay, so you've got to find the difference between, let's sort of construct this. Difference between 76 and 43. So there's the difference. We're going to triple this result. So whatever this result is, you're going to triple it. So we actually need to put that in brackets. And I'm going to put the 3 out here. So it's going to be 3 times this result. Alright, so that's this part. So we've found the difference between 76 and 43. We've got that. We're going to triple this result. Well, we are, because whatever result this is, we're going to multiply it by 3. So we've tripled it. And then finally, we're going to subtract the quotient of 35 and 7. So 35 divided by 7. Alright, so that's what the problem should look like. And what I might do is see if I can find this. Maybe not. No, I'm not going to be able to do that because, yeah, anyway, there's a reason for that. But anyway, all right, so let's go through. So we're going to do the brackets first. Okay, so my 3 and the times. Actually, I actually have just fixed this. Never knew, did you? Alright, so here we go. If I can get rid of that part. If you have a look down the bottom here, if that can disappear, let's try that again. 3 times 76 minus 43 minus 35 divided by 7. Alright, so we've got that part right. Okay, so now we do our brackets part. So 76 minus 43, what does that give us? Anyone? Can you do that subtraction part? Yeah, it should give us 33. Okay, so I've just dealt, that's all I've dealt with. Now I'm going to minus the 35 divided by 7. So I'm not dealing with anything else now. Okay, now I'm left with multiplication, a subtraction and division. So I'm going to do my multiplication and division from left to right. So 3 multiplied by 33, I will get there eventually, gives me 99 minus 35 divided by 7. Okay, so I've dealt with this part first, everything else drops down. Then I've dealt with this part and everything else drops down. Now I'm going to deal with this part, so I'm going to run out of room here. The 35 divided by 7, so it's now 99 minus 35 divided by 7 gives me 5. Okay, so that's that part, and then 99 minus 5 gives me 94. Let's check our answer. There we go. Okay, 3 times 33 minus 5, 99 minus 5 equals 94. Okay, so I want you to do one thing at a time, one step at a time as you work through this. Alright, that's really important. As you can see in the example here, they've actually done a couple of steps in one hit. Until you get used to the order of operations, I want you to show all the working out, because mistakes, from again my experience, what I see, lots of mistakes are made because students try and do about 3 steps in the one line, make mistakes, and they end up getting the wrong answer. Alright, so it's really important that you do one thing at a time, please, as you work through these. Alright, so that's your order of operations. So make sure you know your BIDMAS, okay? That is your instruction booklet for this exercise. The setting out of the working out is really important. You have to do all the lines and arrows and things that I've drawn. That does really mess it up. But you need to do one thing at a time, so your working out is really, really important for this last little section. Alright, hopefully that makes sense to you. Any questions, again, make sure you come and talk to me and see me. We can work through them really quickly. Yeah, that's it. 15 minutes, probably one of the longer ones, but we are done for this chapter. All right, thank you guys. Time for a bit of revision, and the test will be coming up very soon. All right, good luck, and we shall see you back in class. Bye-bye.